Welcome back to your monthly safety training for the month of August. This time around, we'll discuss asbestos awareness and bladder stair safety. Let's get going. Asbestos occurs naturally on every continent in the world. Fireproofing properties of it have made it an essential part of industries such as automobile, construction, airlines, and chemical industries, just to name a few. Welcome to your monthly safety training for August on asbestos awareness. A lot of construction of buildings before 1980 contained asbestos in the materials such as floor tiles, ceiling tiles, roof shingles, flashing, siding, and even wall insulation. Asbestos isn't banned in the United States. The EPA, though, heavily regulates the introduction of any new asbestos products that enter the U.S. market. Other safer products have emerged, though, to replace asbestos, and it is no longer mined in the United States. Some of the beneficial uses of asbestos-containing material in the early days included materials like floor tiles, building insulation, as well as even clothing. Clearly today, asbestos-containing material is not as prevalent in everyday life as it was back then, but it hasn't gone away completely. Some of the examples of safe alternatives that have replaced asbestos include amorphous silica fabrics, cellulose fiber, polyurethane foam, flower fillers, and thermoset plastics. Asbestos fibers are virtually indestructible. The fibers are soft and flexible, which make them great at resistance to heat, electricity, and corrosion. The fibers, though, when crushed, can produce airborne silky filaments, and that's where the hazardous effects of asbestos come into play. Asbestos is most hazardous when it's friable, meaning that it has been crumbled, pulverized, or reduced to a powder, and it's releasing fibers into the air. When asbestos fibers are inhaled or ingested, the fibers become trapped in the lungs. The converse is true, however. Asbestos-containing material will not release asbestos fibers unless it's disturbed or damaged in some way. If it remains covered, sealed, or doesn't become crushed or friable at all, then it isn't a hazard to you and me. Because it's so hard to destroy asbestos fibers, the body can't break them down or remove them once they're lodged in the lungs or body tissues. They really remain in place where they can cause disease. The three primary diseases associated with asbestos are mesothelioma, asbestosis, and lung cancer. Don't forget to review the asbestos notification posting. It's located at the employee bulletin board near the employee entrance. In it, it'll describe exactly where asbestos is located in the facility. Take time to review it when you have a moment. Some locations where asbestos remains in the facility include old floor tile adhesive called black mastic, sealant material at metal HVAC duct joints, and the benchtop in the quality assurance lab. You may also find asbestos-containing material on concrete block wall surface fillers, as well as the insulation inside fire-rated hollow metal doors. What is your role with asbestos-containing materials? Let's review. Number 1, don't disturb or damage asbestos-containing material. Number 2, don't place ladders or attach ropes, rigging, or other equipment directly to asbestos-containing material. And number 3, don't sweep, clean, or use compressed air to blow suspected asbestos-containing material. As we wrap up our monthly safety training in asbestos awareness, don't forget, if you identify anything that is suspected as asbestos-containing material, notify the EHS department or the Technical Assurance Department immediately. In summary, asbestos is a naturally occurring mineral that forms long, thin fibers. As a result of the long, thin fibers, asbestos was really good at fireproofing, binders and floor tile mastic, as well as insulation properties in piping. Don't forget, asbestos is most hazardous when it's friable, That is to say, the fibers are released into the air so they can become inhaled or ingested in the lungs. Last but certainly not least, don't disturb or damage asbestos-containing material or presumed asbestos-containing material. Notify Technical Assurance or EHS Department for further questions. We're always here to help. Working on and around stairways and ladders is inherently hazardous. Stairways and ladders are a major source of injuries and fatalities, and many of the injuries are serious enough to require time off the job. OSHA rules apply to stairways and ladders, so let's take a look at a few tips and tricks to safely using ladders and stairs. Before climbing a ladder, be sure the ladder rungs on the bottom of your shoes are free of slippery substances. Inspect your ladder before you use it to be sure it's in proper working order. Things like structural damage to the supports, rails, and steps require the ladder to come out of service immediately. So what do you look for during a ladder inspection? Focus on missing or loose steps or rungs, damaged or worn non-slip feet, and of course loose nails, screws, bolts, or nuts that are holding the ladder together. Some additional items to look for during an inspection of a ladder are loose or faulty spreader bars, corrosion, rust, or oxidation, especially on the treads, twisted or distorted rails, and lastly, any missing identification or manufacturing labels on the ladder. Now that we've finished the details of how to inspect a ladder, let's talk about how to safely use a ladder. Safe practices while using a ladder include always facing the ladder when going up or down. Use at least one hand to grasp the ladder, the 3-point contact rule. And the top of the ladder is never used as a step, nor should it be moved while you're on it, and never carry an object that could cause you to lose your balance. As we finish up this month's safety training, it's going to be important to talk about stair safety. Here are some important things to remember that never got anybody hurt. When ascending or descending stairs, always use the handrail. Walk, don't run. Don't put things on the stairs that may cause others to trip. Avoid carrying those objects with both hands so you have one hand free to use the handrail. Don't carry bulky objects that block your vision. Don't skip steps. This concludes the monthly safety training on asbestos awareness for Stewart's Draft. Don't forget to receive credit. Take the quiz at the end. Have a great day. Goodbye.